Howdy everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today is December 12th. Been pretty quiet around here without me posting any videos or anything, but I just wanted to show you what I've been working on the last few days. First, when you go into the markets of CoinMarketCap, you will quickly see it's nothing but what I call it blood on the streets. The amount of negative asset class, or the number of pairs that have gone negative. Actually, it's flipped quite a bit. Actually, there's a lot more now. So let me show you what we have. I've retooled a lot of these scripts to analyze month by month. Currently, if you go into my Redis, the database, we have our usual positions, our watch lists. Right now we have 19 pairs on the go. We have one position on the go, but I have not. So here is this video. I've done this video before regarding the minute-by-minute analysis on particular crypto pairs. You can clearly see that we do have some activity here, minute by minute, and this is pretty well the only pair that I have that's on as a position. So it's TRX, BNB. So I believe that's Tron and Binance Coin. So now I have the ability to run the profitable fast movers out there, and as I just showed you on CoinMarketCap, looks like the crypto is somewhat coming back, but clearly here these are the fast movers right now on an hourly and a 24-hour basis. Now this is out of, who knows, a couple hundred crypto pairs, but you can clearly see we don't have very many positive ones. Maybe I'm gonna say 12, and that's it. And they're not very positive, where only an hourly basis is at 1.22% up, or that's Bitcoin Cash at 1.82. This consistently changes minute by the minute, and you get a whole new subset of pairs or coins that are fast movers and not fast movers, and the amount can change as well, where they can be up by 2-3% all the way up to 5-6, sometimes even 20-25% change in moves on an hourly or 24-hour basis. The situation is that because of that, I've decided to try minute by minute, and you can get some pretty good moves, but they're not going to be as big as you would expect in the span of a minute. So I'm going to run my position manager right here. Everything's now done on a minute analysis. Heavily using momentum. I've tried RSI, I've tried other indicators, technical indicators, and they just are not fast enough to keep up with how fast these pairs do move. And the problem is, as the pairs or as the whipsaws come in fast and furiously, they're hard to guard against that because there's so many of them. So visually, you can see here that there's quite a few down moves. So there's different ways to calculate that without using any technical indicators to prevent potential bad trades. And the other thing is that everything goes into this tight range where it goes flat, let's say, and it's pretty hard to try to make money in this environment. The other thing is when you have these swings very low of 1.22 or 0.3, you might as well be trading in the world of Forex or CFD, because these numbers are what you would see typically in Forex. And again, this is without leverage, and I'm trying to stay away from leverage as much as possible. So I just ran this script here. Nothing happened. As I said, I'm using momentum as a indicator for trend, basically. So if I rerun it, I might get a different set. So each one of these is a minute move, and there's certain criteria that I use to close out the position, but right now it's flat, and it's still somewhat profitable, because here's the price and here is the stop loss it's trading against. So this is a heavy testing, I must tell you. Also, I have the watch list, which is maintained. Let's see, Binance 1 minute 2. So this is the watch list. So this will go in and clean up any down to pairs that are moving to downward. Also, if you look at the pairs here, I not only have Bitcoin and Ethereum as the base quotes, but I'm also adding in BNB, and I'm still somewhat testing out USD Tether. I've done some testing with USD Tether. The volumes are there. It just depends upon the coin as well as what's happening to that coin, because the volumes can be big. And the other thing I'm noticing is during US time, when the US markets are open, there's very little activity. But as soon as the Asian markets open up, that's when it gets pretty heavy, and things can turn, because I believe, because it's using Binance and it's based out of China, let's say, or Hong Kong, that the volume does definitely pick up and we can see more positive moves at that time. That's what I'm finding so far. All right, so we have run the watch list. So here you can see that it will remove certain pairs if the pairs are too negative. We also will put in new entries. So if I go back to the Redis desktop manager here, so here we've got 2 new positions. So obviously I've not automated the scripting of this yet, but if I rerun this, it will start updating all the soft and hard stop losses as well. So I think this TRX position may get, TRX BNB may get closed out. Oh no, okay. So so we just ran the position manager. Nothing's really been closed out yet, so that position's still open. The other thing is the profit. It looks for the most profitable. So this is basically what it does. Again, it's using minute data, goes in, measures out the fastest moving pairs, as you can see here. The only ones that are fast moving on an hourly basis is Tron at 0.3, 6, EOS at 0.2. And this factor has to readjust on, will it only look at the ones that are profitable, meaning over 0% or higher, when the markets or the asset class of crypto is moving very well? You'd be needing to adjust that to only filter out maybe the top ones that are at least 2, 5, or 5% to filter them out. So again, because it's so low, I've set it at 0. In fact, there's certain times where it can be so low that you may only have, let's say, one coin that will be at, let's say, 0.5%. The rest will be all negative. So I just tested it to readjust to include anything that was better than negative 0.5, meaning that on a percent hourly change at negative 0.5%, to include those and filter those out, and I still would potentially add them to the watch list. And lo and behold, positions were added, and some of those positions could have been profitable, which they were. But again, when you're dealing with these kind of environments where things are just too volatile, it's hard to trade, obviously. I think anyone that can trade this kind of environment is doing quite well. in this environment, and if you can able to make money in this kind of environment, you are probably a master trader. So that's pretty well all the different tools that I've been using, and some of them have been quite the experiment. Where I put a lot of reliance is on that minute-by-minute chart that I showed you. So let me just see what's going on here in the database. So we've got 3 positions on right now. The watch list has 19 pairs, so that has not changed. And let me just see if I was to rerun the watch list, see what would happen here. See if any new entries get placed, and they do. So here we have Ethereum Bitcoin's been added, and again TRX BNB has now been re-added. So let's update the position manager, and I'll run those because now they've been added to the position manager. These ones, TRX BNB and Ethereum BTC, and run the position manager so we can see them. Now, I must talk about Python. One of the big advantages of Python is I'm able to develop these strategies very quickly, adapt to them very quickly, and no other language offers that because they're just maintenance nightmares. So here we have an exit. It looks like it is, which one? So this is the EOS BTC. There was a loss, which is very typical. Let me just let it continue. So we're down to, I believe, down to 2 positions. Yeah, so we're down to 2 positions here. So we have still 19 on the watch list. And that's pretty well everything in order for it to work. But what I'm looking for are better ways to gauge. First, do I take on a position? And it's going back to the same stuff I've looked at a few months ago. Do I take on a position when it's too volatile? The other thing, do I even trade while we're in this weird, very fast-moving downward market where there's just too many whipsaws to contend with? Or do I even trade that out, wait for it until the markets come back? Because you definitely can make some decent money when the markets are up. Overall, with the asset class of crypto is up. So that's pretty well where we're at, recreating the wheel. But the nice thing about minute by minute is that you expand your opportunities by a lot instead of just watching on the 5, 15 minute or the hour. So it's just a matter of trying to not take on bad positions, and is it worthwhile even to make the effort when the markets are in a very strong downward trend. And that's pretty well it. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let me know. Talk to you later.